Joining us today from Tupelo Public School District, we're excited to have Stuart McMillan. And Stuart McMillan is the Innovation Program Facilitator for Tupelo Public School District. So good morning, Stuart. Welcome. We're so glad to have you. If you could just start by telling us why Tupelo Public School District wanted to apply as a District of Innovation.
Thank you, Cindy. It's a pleasure to be here today, and we at the Tupelo Public School District feel honored to have been given the District of Innovation distinction. We started this process in September of 2018 and wanted to ground ourselves in what are the greatest needs as seen by all of our key stakeholders, our students, our teachers, our parents, and our community members. And we really aligned on what are the greatest needs, and then how do we find innovative programs to meet those needs. And all of this really falls under the umbrella of the Tupelo Public School District is committed to preparing all students for college and career success in alignment with our mission to equip students to be successful in a global society. And we're really grateful that as a part of that, our board is very committed and added a board goal to define what is college and career readiness. And our community really saw that as the greatest need. So that is really the main driving force behind our application, is making sure all students are college and career ready. And as we all know, we want to do things to benefit all students, but we also want to identify what are subgroups of students that really need additional support. How do we make sure that students who are low income, students with special education, English learners, that we really support and target those groups that have specific needs? And I'd be remiss if I didn't also give a shout out to Dr. Piku, our superintendent, who when he came into this position, his whole mentality is one single heartbeat. We all know that we are a team, we are a family, and the one single heartbeat philosophy represents those moments when good people of honest intent come together to do whatever is necessary to achieve uncommon results. And that's really what we want to do. We want to be innovative. We want to all come together. We want to meet the needs of our students, specifically those subgroups, as well as making sure all students are set up for success.
What are some of the key points, programs that are going to be a part of your district's innovation plan, and how do you feel that they may impact student success?
Great question. Well, at the core of our application, we feel strongly that being innovative and making sure all students are set up for college and career success starts from early childhood all the way up through 12th grade. So our application is structured with three big buckets. The first bucket is early childhood up through elementary school, and that's really about career opportunities. How do we make sure students have the foundation, the building blocks? We're structured so that students have opportunities to learn about a variety of careers while also getting that foundational educational learning. Then once you transition to middle school, and really starting in 6th grade, so we bucketed middle school as 6th through 8th grade, how do we offer career exploration? So students are starting to target their focus based on their interest. And then at the high school level, how do we make sure that we focus on career enhancement? That by the time students get through 9th through 12th grade, they have an idea of what they're interested in, and they can really focus and deep dive into those. So looking at those, I know we don't want to go over all of our programs, but at the elementary level, we have a TPSD discovery program, early childhood, focused on students who've never been in a structured daycare program, to really set them up for success with kindergarten. How do we build some foundational skills? And then looking ahead at the elementary level, we've implemented Project Lead the Way. So how do we make sure that students focus on problem solving, group work, specifically in the tracks of engineering and biomedical science, which are the two areas we've focused on so far. Moving up to the middle school and looking at that career exploration, we're also implementing, starting next year, Project Lead the Way. And then we've implemented a PACE program, a program specifically targeting over-age, undercredited students, which is the first time you see one of those subgroups of students that we want to make sure we're better supporting. And then finally, looking at the high school level, we implemented this year and look forward to expanding and enhancing our middle college program. So allowing students to both graduate high school with their diploma and an associate's degree in partnership with Itawamba Community College. And then we've also implemented Project Search, which is a program targeting special education students that's a partnership with the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services and North Mississippi Health Services, our hospital, where we have students that actually spend their day at our hospital and are allowed to participate in internships there, to develop their skills, to build their resume with the goal of long-term employment. So those are kind of some of the key programs at each level that we're looking at. And I'm happy if you'd like for me to dive into a couple of those, that might make the most sense. Which one would be kind of the most helpful for me to look at?
Stuart, I know that in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of emphasis with ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act. And in hearing you talk about the subgroup with the special education students, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, I'll give a shout out to Rankin County, our fellow District of Innovation. They actually implemented Project Search the year prior to us. They were the first program in the state, and we're blessed to have implemented this year. I think Project Search really addresses a lot of the needs of ESSA in terms of how do we make sure all students are set up for success. And we know at the end of the day, success is variable. People have different definitions of what that is. But I think we at the school district really feel strongly that career success, that setting up these students to be able to be successful in a career pathway, to have meaningful employment, to be able to have a salary and health insurance and live independently, that this is really something that in the past has not been a focus. There's been some focus on life skills and setting these students up for success, but Project Search was founded at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. They have a track record of success with students across the country and across the world now. They've expanded. And this program really allows them to both get those employment skills, develop those soft skills. They have a curriculum that they follow with a teacher from our school district who is facilitating that instruction. And then they also have a partnership with the hospital where they have mentors and individuals in each of the departments where there are internships. And they're allowed to do and to work similar to any individual who doesn't have a disability in those internship sites. I think it's been really exciting to see those students flourish. We've had 8 students this year to complete that program, and at least 2 of those students in their internships actually ended up being the only individuals at their hospital who were doing the work that they were doing and doing it extremely well, to the point where those managers wanted to make sure those students would be hired in those roles. So you see with making sure we focus on those special education students, we both want them to have that book learning and that ability, but a lot of it is, how do they have those soft skills? How do they communicate? How do they deal with adversity? If they're in a situation where they aren't getting along with a coworker, what does that look like? How do they develop the skills necessary to complete their task? Conflict resolution. So I think there's a lot going on there, and I'm really hopeful that with Rankin County and Tupelo Public School District and the other school districts that are implementing this program, that we'll see it continue to develop across the state. I do think it has the best interest of our special education students, has a track record of success, and I look forward to our state having similar success to what they're seeing nationally.
Stuart, what do you feel that this plan is going to mean for your district, your culture, and also your community as you move forward now as a district of innovation?
Well, I think first and foremost, our community and all stakeholders were at the core of creating this plan. So I hope that our community feels vested in this work and feels like the work that we're doing is in alignment with what the community saw as our greatest needs. So I think it's validating to have this status. It's validating to see the programs that both have already come to fruition and the things that are coming down the pipeline, specifically with looking at career academies and how do we make sure at the high school level that all students really are focused on that enhancement, have targeted pathways to set them up for success. I think in terms of our schools and our culture, that what we've seen so far is that our programs have been well received with Project Lead the Way, that students are really engaged, that they like involved in that group work, hands-on learning, etc. And as you move up with Project Search, having those direct career connections, that students see that alignment. So I think at its core, our programs really strive to be authentic learning experiences, that there is a direct connection to career pathways. And how do we continue to emphasize that? How do we continue to involve our community to make sure we're meeting those needs? We've been really blessed here with our Community Development Foundation has been very heavily involved, the Create Foundation, Itawamba Community College, Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services, Toyota, North Mississippi Health Services. We have a lot of great partners in this work that both have helped financially. Toyota has been a huge partner in funding some of our programs, as well as just making sure that we have those connections to industry where we can make sure that we are aligning. We want our students to be able to be set up for success, that if they would like to stay, and ideally they would, that we can be working in our own community. And that really needs to start with, what is our industry here? How do students know about those opportunities? How do we better partner to set them up for success? So I think it starts at the beginning, it goes all the way up, but it'll have a very positive effect on our school and our culture, as well as hopefully continue to strengthen our community partnership and connections.